Today, the fact is, I want to share with you on this occasion a very interesting topic which is related to the exploration aspect, which is why we call it a meeting without prospects. There is no business. The first thing we need to know in this part of the survey is that as an entrepreneur or someone in any type of business, you probably already know a lot. Let me briefly review the true meaning of the term prospecting, mainly for new entrants or first-time entrants. The first thing I want to tell you in this wonderful entrepreneurial world is that the word prospect is a term used in different contexts, but generally speaking, it refers to the action of simultaneously finding, identifying, and evaluating potential opportunities for potential customers, and these customers are also potential customers. Or if not, make them partners. For business activities that you or anyone else may be engaged in, whether for a private enterprise or for your own specific enterprise. On this basis, I want to tell you the following, right? Once I understand what the definition of prospect is, what will happen? It's a secret. In all these explorations, if there is no prospect, there is no business. It's like you think in your mind that you're going to build a tent in which no matter how good the product you have or how good the service you can provide and there's no corresponding customer, believe me, you're going to have no business. So when we talk about the business that we have to invite people to join our activities, obviously the fact that I have customers must be, or I must mainly focus on it. That goal, because if I don't have it, I will lose my way. That's why we say it's a secret. Now in prospecting, I want to tell you this statement or tell you that there are 4 stages because prospecting is a process, and in these processes I want to tell you the following. First of all, let me fully understand this prospecting problem, what I need to know and what I want to share with you at the moment you listen to me. Prospecting means a process that will take you to what you are looking for, which is just the qualification to be able to find that customer. Can you be a part of your company or a partner in your business or a potential customer for the services and products you may own? The second thing that needs to be understood when prospecting is that it involves investigation. Just like when you hear the word investigation, you will have to check many sources of information. For people in the market, in order for you to really find the potential customers or potential partners you are looking for, you will need to do research. Once you have finished this research, you must come to the conclusion that you will be able to find out the level of interest that person or that prospect actually shows what you are doing, and secondly, in the assessment, the second focus is on your ability and how good your ability is. Are you buying or able to do this in the area you want that person to do? And finally, point 4, we'll develop it step by step, right? In order for us to understand, once you have completed the first 3 steps, you can contact now, and then you must complete it as a workflow. You must contact the person who has been investigated, the person who has reached the conclusion, the person who is interested and capable. Having said that, I will tell you the following because it is very important to understand the process required to conduct an investigation in this process. I hope you can understand that this is not the same thing. There are many people who make mistakes here. A person who believes that when a person has data, he already has a prospect and is far from reality believes or thinks. In this way, I will tell you 3 words so that you can understand them and recognize them more clearly. Note that there are 3 words that you can't forget in the process. First data, then contacts, and then prospectus. What is data? Just a name, a location, a phone number. But if I don't move on to the next level, it must be because I can't convert this data to a contact. And I pass this data to the contact when I start to find out all kinds of things about this person. For example, how about, well, I determine if the person is married, single, if you live in your city or your country or anywhere outside your country region, or if you can identify, for example, if he or she is working, he or she is not working, if the person suddenly has some kind of hobby, he or she likes music, he or she is a musician or a mechanic, or he or she is a mason or an accountant, the professional field that the person can develop. But the fact is, you need to study the yes or no data to get more information about the name. Or you can use a simple phone number or email address or an ID you can get on a social network once you have done this. So you turn that data into contacts. Now, how do contacts become potential customers? Well, according to what I told you before, there are two things you have to do in this research. Identifying that person is what your interest level is and what your ability is. Then, when you determine the person's interest in the content you are working on, the service, product, or opportunity you are currently developing. At that moment, he began to contact the prospectus and finished it. When you come to a conclusion, give the leaflet. The person has the ability to perform, whether for a position, for a particular activity that you want to be part of a work team, or for a particular activity in society. The person may meet the requirements imposed by the person or activity, and the candidate or contact does have the ability. What if it's shopping? Obviously, you have to make sure he has the purchasing power, otherwise you lose all your efforts, and instead, there will be real frustration when you contact this person. Now, in the survey, once you see all of this, you will see, and I will mention it so that you can identify it more clearly, what to look for during that investigation time so that what happens. Contact potential customers first of all. The family must determine whether the person has children and is married, and whether there is any connection with the mother, siblings, etc. The second activity in the family area. What are you doing now? Because it's going to be very critical, very important, and very important when you call to invite him. It's an interesting thing, but besides activities, I've mentioned this in what I've told you before, interest and ability. These four elements must exist as ground rules when you use a list of data or contacts you may have for the entire search. Once I tell you, what areas of interest and ability will you try to identify? Quite simply, I will give 4 examples. First of all, what kind of hobbies do you like? What is this special free time? Because they are the key elements. Type of work. This is crucial because much of our life or anyone's life is based on the type of work activity that a hobbit or a person might have. Obviously, once you start again, what interest might this person have for us to say to unfold these elements? Once you've done all of this and you've got the name, you've got the phone, you've got the data, so you can do what you have to do. In this survey, what are the basic elements and what are the basic elements? Well, send an invitation. To send out an invitation, the first thing you have to do is arrange an appointment, which means that we can't explore in a professional way, which I really hope so. Do you really want to come alone? I think this is perfectly suitable for what I am looking for. I don't have to improvise. I have to arrange appointments, and if face-to-face appointments are feasible, I will arrange appointments, whether in person or over the phone. But in one hypothesis today, due to all the things we've been dealing with since the pandemic, the investigation is conducted remotely, where countries are exchanged. Well, we can do that over the phone because we have a lot of social networking or app tools, and that's a very simple approach. But the important thing is that I must arrange this meeting. If I have to make a phone call on that date, see how interesting I will tell you. I hope you'll never forget that, and when I call a potential client, I'll call him to arrange. Don't call to arrange the meeting, I will share the information with you. In other words, instead of introducing projects, products, or opportunities, I will call for invitations. None of this because I will lose it completely. All my previous efforts, if all the views are favorable to me and correct prospects, I may end up undermining all my previous work and efforts during the call time. Why would I say that? Because when you call, even if you have an appointment with this person can tell you more. Say a few words less, just like I'm going to tell you, but tell me what's going on. When someone tells you, tell me what it is, you are not professionally prepared. A lot of times we try to describe the product and tell you what good I do for my product, or I really want that person to be a part of me, whether it's work or society or projects. From the marketing network or any activity you're doing, it's very important to you, and that's why I finally emphasize it, isn't it? Sell your product. Don't sell your service on calls you schedule so you can schedule real presentations again. I repeat, this presentation can be face-to-face, and now it can be scaled. In short, this part of the survey can help you. By applying it in this way, you can make the most of it, and sincerely hope that you can continue to develop your activities to this day. Never forget, the secret is to understand that if there is no prospect, there will be no business until the next one.